Mental health and law enforcement. It is such an important topic of discussion. So let's stick around, watch this video, and we'll talk about the dynamics of this ever-growing topic in our country. Let's watch.
911 emergency.
Yeah, I got a guy on the corner of Doris and Ventura Road. He's walking around the middle of the street with scissors in his hand.
He's holding scissors?
And yeah, there's a couple of people running around. Not sure what's going on.
So the initial call for service, some of you guys might think, well, what's the crime of a person just walking around with scissors in their hand? Obviously, the person that's calling, there's something more about the situation that's prompting him to call 911. Because if you saw a man that's just walking on the street right now with a pair of scissors, it's not going to necessarily raise the hair on your skin to make you think that you have to call the police. There's a little bit more to this situation. The person that's actually walking with the scissors, he's going to call the police next, and then that's when we're going to start getting a little bit more context to the ever-evolving scenario.
Hello?
Hello, do you hear me? This is a 911. What are you
I'm
reporting?
on Doris and Ventura Road. You got to come get me, or I'm start fucking spazzing off on.
Okay, what is it that you're reporting, sir?
Huh?
What is it that you're reporting?
I'm being chased by my folks. I have a knife in my hand. I'm being chased by my people, and they're not respecting. They just keep chasing me and shit. They even call you guys. You
Okay,
guys just trying to back off.
who's holding you?
They keep chasing
Sorry,
people.
who's chasing you?
They keep chasing me and shit.
What's your name, sir?
I'm on Doris and Ventura Road.
I got that, but okay, what's your name?
You're coming for me and shit like that. I don't mean to call y'all and explain the whole thing like that.
Okay,
But I only have one
sir,
call
what's your
from
name?
on.
Hey, bro, just drop it.
I'm
Just
gonna
drop it.
stab her, bro. I'm gonna stab her.
Hey, just drop it, dude.
If we have a lethal arrest, will be informed.
I'm gonna stab her.
You have less lethal? Close my door.
So at this moment in time, when the officers locate him, you can see one of the officers pull out a less than lethal beanbag shotgun round because they don't want to obviously have to use lethal force if they don't have to. What's also interesting about this moment in the video is one of the officers on scene actually recognized Nichols as being the suspect of an attempted murder that happened a week before this, where he was actually seen on surveillance camera stabbing somebody multiple times in the head. So think about this. They're out with the same guy who's wanted for attempted murder, and he also has another pair of scissors in his hand. So they know this person is dangerous, which also kind of sets the tone for how they might respond accordingly as this situation continues to evolve. Let's watch.
Drop it. Just drop the knife, bud. Everything will be fine. Just drop it. You're okay, dude. Just drop it for me. Can you just drop the knife for me, bud? Nicholas, just drop it. Isaiah, can you hear me? Can you just drop the knife, bro? We're just worried about you. Everything will be okay if you just drop the knife.
I want to pause the video right here, and I want to ask you a very, very critical question. Based on everything that's going on right now and everything that you've seen, is this cause for a law enforcement response, or should there be somebody else that comes, or nobody at all? I really want to know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think law enforcement should be on scene? Do you think another entity like a social worker or somebody should be on scene? Or do you think nobody should be out there and the family should try to handle this situation on their own? What do you guys think should be happening at this moment in time? I'm just curious of what your mindset is, because it truly does play a part at the very end in the conclusion of this video when I tell you what's going on with this investigation now. Let's continue.
Can you just drop the scissors, bud?
We're gonna go to the point guns north.
Can you just drop the scissors for me? Isaiah, please. Please. Stop right there, Isaiah.
Go ahead and hit him.
Less lethal, less
Go ahead,
lethal.
hit him. Running northbound between the apartment complex.
So the argument becomes is, did the officers have to utilize a less than lethal round in this moment in time? You can see he has his hands in the air, but he still has those scissors in his hands, and he's advancing on the officers. So if you ask me, I've shown you guys other videos before where you can see how quickly a person can get up on officers with sharp-edged weapons in their hands. So it's my belief that the officers chose to utilize a less than lethal option at this moment in time because they're trying to stop it before it continues to evolve. So let me tell you why the officers have to give chase at this moment moment in time. Number one is he is wanted. He has a felony warrant for his arrest for attempted murder that occurred a week before that. Number two is he's armed with a deadly weapon. Number three is he has very, very erratic behavior. And number four, there's other community members around the surrounding area that could be a victim of his erratic behavior. So that's why they have to give chase, if you're wondering why they have to chase at it for any reason.
Hey, stop! Down the ground! Hey, get it! Isaiah, drop it! I'm on your right, I'm on your right. Taser, taser, taser!
Here's what's interesting to me is they utilized the beanbag round against him, which was ineffective. They still utilized a taser against him, which also was ineffective. But the reason it's interesting is it's not like these officers just showed up and utilized deadly force the moment they got there. They tried to de-escalate. You can hear the officer's voice, how they're trying to talk him down, how they weren't escalating it, and they utilized the other less than lethal options. And so it shows you that the mindset is not to kill him, but to try to take him into custody safely. But it continues to go. There have been times where I've made videos and I've said that officers have created their own exigent circumstances and forced themselves to have to utilize deadly force. And they were in the wrong in those moments and times, but this was not one of them. The reason why is because, like I told you, they had a valid reason to chase him. And as they're chasing him, during that moment, that's when Nichols turns towards the officers and starts to come towards them. And that's the moment in time that they have to utilize deadly force in order to overcome his resistance, effect that arrest, and prevent his escape. And so he's the one that forced the hand for the officers to have to utilize deadly force in his moment in time. If you ask me, they tried to do everything that they possibly could to not utilize deadly force, but it didn't work. Last time I was on the streets, the criteria, at least in California, was for us to take your rights away from you if you're quote unquote 5150, which means you're mentally unstable, was you have to be a danger to yourself, a danger to others, or gravely disabled. And in this case, clearly, obviously, he reaches those three things. But what happens when a person's dealing with schizophrenia, but they're not a danger to themselves, they're not a danger to others, and they're not gravely disabled? Well, now you have the person that's mentally ill that still has all their rights because they don't technically meet those three things. And so they continue to get progressively worse, and the system cannot put them in into a hospital to prevent them from getting worse. That's what's wrong, if you ask me, with our mental health system right now, is that unless you reach one of those three things, there's nothing that officers can do. And so the only time they can do something is when they're actually having a crisis where they meet one of those three prongs, but sometimes it's too little too late.